Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First, I would like to thank PSC for this wonderful opportunity. It's an honor to be here today among the industry professionals. We have recently launched a research report with the name of Threats to Trends. Those pamphlets are there in front of you. I would like to quickly share the key insights and the insightful findings from this report. Welcome to our presentation, Beyond the Predictions. As we all know, most of the retail chain runs on prediction. I need to predict what to buy, how much to buy, and when to buy. That's the entire mantra, I would say, or the rules, I would say, in the retail industry. Let's understand how to address these key challenges that this industry is facing. As everyone touched upon, this retail industry, especially the fashion retail industry, it's constantly undergoing a rapid change in terms of the demand profile. If you really look at what was sold in the previous season, is no more relevant in the next season. This is the major challenge that every retail industry, fashion retail industry is currently facing. And typically, if you look at every retail industry actually operates on 2 seasons, as we all know, spring, summer, and autumn, winter. Starting from Jan to June for spring, summer, the supply sales window, and July to December as the autumn, winter. And also they plan end of season sales. They plan for end of season sales. This tells you the story that whatever they predict, they could not sell in the same season. So there is a separate month they dedicate to get rid of the unsold inventory in the form of end of season sales discount. One in Jan and one in July. The way they plan their merchandise into the shop, into the stores, typically they try to invert 70% of the season merchandise in the first 2 months of the season, with an expectation that they will be able to sell the entire merchandise at full price within the next 4 months, so that the clock starts for the next season with full set of new styles. This means my product life cycle for a given season is limited to only 4 months. Whatever I predict, I expect to sell in the first 4 months. Let's understand why these brands are operating on 2 seasons. If you come across the European brands or the other brands, there are brands which operates on 4 seasons in a year. Every quarter they launch collections. Zara, we all know, there is no concept of collections or no concept of season. Every month is a season for them. Why Indian fashion retail companies are forced to operate on 2 seasons? For that, we need to actually understand the supply chain characteristics of our Indian retail industry. If you look at every retail brand has got multiple functions within that company. A product team, a sourcing team, and then a retail operations team, logistics team. There are more functions within the company. And most of the retail brands, they are not vertically integrated. These companies depends on external partners in the form of garmenter or in the form of a fabric mill. Both the companies as well as the supply partners, everybody has got a limited capacity. So this is the overall spectrum, I would say, these companies are currently operating with. If you drill down to activity level, how do they plan a particular season? There are various activities starting from the storyboard. People think, they try to analyze the upcoming trend and then try to develop samples with the supply chain partners. Then the samples are presented to internal audience, and also they invite some key trade partners where they come and select the samples. Basis that, they arrive at a forecast, and then the buy plan is frozen. Basis that buy plan, the purchase starts. Once the material gets inverted into the warehouse, it gets replenished to the store. This lead time is actually typically ranging from 6 to 9 months. That's the reason our Indian fashion brand companies are forced to operate on 2 seasons. They were not able to think beyond 2. Also, the key challenge here is the very seamless coordination, I would say, is a very necessary essential condition information flow, material flow has to happen very seamlessly with both internal partners and as well as external partners is the basic necessary condition. But actually, if you look at, we did a survey of about 100 fashion Indian retail brands, and we had asked them this question: what's your planning lead time? In the charts that you're seeing now, and the charts to come, pink color denotes the good ones, and the non-pink color denotes the not good ones. If you look at here, it's only about 13% of the retailers are planning with a lead time profile of either 3 months or between 3 to 5. The remaining 87% of the retailers are forced to operate on a lead time profile ranging from 6 months to as high as 12, and about 11% are beyond 12 months. So this means what? When I'm operating with such long lead time, every retail companies are forced to forecast. The forecasting is to the level of store level, style level, and a size level. This is the extent of forecasting that these companies are forced to do. They sum up, aggregate this forecast, and this forecast serves as the base to decide on what to buy. As we all know, the longer the horizon of forecast, it comes with higher inaccuracies. So let's understand the impact of the long lead time forecast, both on the demand side and as well as on the supply side. As I said before, when the forecast becomes inaccurate, what does it mean? Some styles get stocked out immediately upon launch. I try to envisage that that particular stock will be there in my warehouse for next 3 to 4 months, but I now realize within a couple of months, some styles, under the style, some sizes are sold out. This leads to cut sizes in the store. This is on one side. On the other side, some style which I envisaged as a good trend, upcoming trend, where I have developed it and where I brought it, is not moving at the pace that I would like to have. So this is the paradox. At one side, I have styles which are really selling well. I cannot get the refill because of the lead time that I spoke about. At the other side, I have slow-moving styles. Let's understand the quantum involved. If you look at the cut size, it's about only 22% of the people were able to predict exactly what they are actually selling during the season. The remaining people, the ratio of the size breakage is ranging from 21% to as high as 60%. Imagine, if you are a store manager, what will you do? Somebody talks about the satisfied customer is the mantra of retail. If a customer comes into your store and asks he likes a particular style and he would like to buy his size, and if it turns out to be that it is stocked out, what images that the customer will carry about that store and about the brand? So the normal practice in such store is to remove the style from the shelf, put it in the back room, and put someone else, even though it is selling well. This is the behavior of every store. On the other hand, whenever I get stuck with the slow movers, these are all the candidates which I need to now think of discounts for the upcoming EOSs. Full price sale through, if you really look at a shocking data, only about 25% of the retailers are able to sell the full price without any discount, the number of styles that they're launching in a season, whereas the remaining people are forced to give discount because of this full price sale through lower percentage. Again, is it the only impact? The answer is no. Supply chain is also playing a role here. The longer the lead time, higher the variations. Since the lead time of supply is invariably between 6 to 9 months, whatever I plan to invert into my store as per my drop dates, am I able to get it on time? The question is definitely no. If I look at the data, it's only about 22% of the retailers have claimed that they were able to get on time and in full as per their launch plan. The remaining people, the on time and in full percentage is invariably between 20 to 30%. This means one side, I'm not able to predict what I'm selling. At the other side, I don't have any control on what I'm getting from my suppliers. This is on the lead time front. Of course, the extent of delay is also very high. It's not that I just missing it by 1 day or a 2 day. The extent of delay from my launch date is as high as 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So this means what? whatever the story that the product team is envisaging at the time of product selection, this is how my store should look like, this is how my collection should look like, now everything is distorted. One side, there is a distortion coming in from sales. At the other side, the distortion coming in from the supplies. The entire story theme, whatever the product team have put in place, has gone down the drain within the first 2 months of the season. So what the brands are doing today, it's not that brands are not aware of this problem. Brands try to recalculate the requirements during the course of the season. They try to readjust the levels of replenishment, and they try to run inter-store transfers. When one particular style is excess stock in one store, stocked out in another store, they try to do inter-store transfers. And of course, they also plan the liquidation plan for the debts. But is it so easy? When you are running the season, let's understand the quantum of work that we are talking about here. A typical store, typical brand, which consists of about 100 to 400 stores, every store has about 30 to 40 product grids. Every grid has got about 100 to 300 styles. I'm not counting the colors and other things, sizes. Then updating this requirement, generating the, allocating the stock, it's a very cumbersome process. Trying to manage this in-season execution to prevent the loss of sale or to prevent the stock accumulation is extremely cumbersome. People also try to do this. There is no integrated tool which gives these decisions on a timely basis. Everybody was trying to do it by Excel sheets, most of the brands. If you see here, 77 or 80% of the brands, even though we call AI, we call SAP, we call so many advanced tools, people are still dependent on Excel sheets and spreadsheets to decide the inventory movements. That's an unfortunate state. So that's the reason they were not able to cope up with the inventory mismatch that they are currently facing. So if you look at it has got a direct impact on the financials part. At one side, if you look at the working capital, if I take 110 days as the benchmark, this is the data that you see. Except Zara, which has got about 42 days of working capital, rest and all is much, much high. Same is the case on inventory turns. If I take 4 as the benchmark, again, Inditex stand out at 4.7, rest all falling well below 0.3, 0.4. Yeah. So with this financial impact, this is the conflict that the brands is currently facing. Do I develop the style much ahead of the season, or should I develop the style closer to the season? This is the conflict that every brand today is currently going through. They were not able to achieve both. What we did, we found out an answer to this conflict by challenging the basics. Is India really a seasonal? Do we really have a winter? If you look at the geography of India, only 6% of our geography has got temperature falling less than 6 degrees. Otherwise, it's mostly a summer-driven country. We also challenge this current problem of PLC being shorter and supply chain lead time being longer. Is there any way that I can reverse this trend, where I have a longer PLC and a shorter replenishment time? That's how we differentiated the entire portfolio into 3 groups. One group called core, where the product life cycle at a garment level remains stable for at least 2-3 years. We need a different supply chain approach for these products, not doing forecasting for 6 months. Rather, I try to run this entire supply chain through decoupled manner by keeping stock buffers with every partners. Of course, it requires a collaborative understanding with your supply partners. The other category, we call it as dynamic core, where the fabric remains the same. Maybe the silhouettes will change. The fabric is same. So I take a bet on my fabric, try to decouple it at a fabric level with my fabric mills. Third is pure fashion, where our software tool, Vectorflow software tool, has got an intelligence to get rid of the Excel sheet working, which will decide automatically on the inter-store transfers, dynamic listing, dynamic norm adjustment, etc., etc. Are these only the concept that I'm trying to sell here? The answer is no. Can we do it else? Can we do it? Have you ever done it before? The answer is yes. This is the 2 clients I'm proud to share with you the results over here. Since I'm running out of time, I'm not taking you through the numbers. There are barcodes attached over there. If you see, these are all known brands. Arvind Fashion Brands is well-known brand. We are still working with them, thanks to Mr. Kulin Lalbai. And BlackBerry, Mr. Nitin Mogan. If you scan those barcodes, you will get a video testimonial from the client. Whatever I have spoken so far, we have implemented it, and this is the results that they have got. With this, I conclude my speech. Thank you very much for the opportunity again. If you scan this barcode again, you get the report as well. Thank you very much.